Todd Warner, born and raised down in Chapel Hill. Married to my wife Cindy for 34 years, I think, in March. You might want to smack me for not knowing for sure there, but I have 3 children. Fortunate enough to have a good family and healthy family, and 1 granddaughter and 1 grandson on the way. I'm self-employed, PCS of Tennessee. We are a grading and utility contractor. I've been in the business for about 30 years. I run anywhere from 30 to 40 employees, and with the way the growth is right here, right now, our business has been good, and we're fortunate, and we thank the Lord for that. Let's see, about 25 years ago maybe, my dad ran for circuit court clerk. Dad didn't have a whole lot of time where we were thinking about getting out of the dairy farming, and he was going into public service. And I kept a poker under him, I said, we got to go knock doors, we got to go, and kind of got interested in. I then ran for city alderman in Chapel Hill. This would have been the early to mid 90s. Served there for about 3 years till me and my wife built a house out on our family farm. Then I resigned when I moved out of the city limits. And then I was appointed to the school board there in my district. Our district was lacking what I call a true conservative. Had some people to ask me to run. I ran at the time. Being a true conservative, I'm all about less government. I'm a God-fearing man. I was raised in the church. At the end of the day, let's do what's best for all of us and make Tennessee a better place for our future. 2 years ago, we went through redistricting. I kept all of Marshall County, and I took in the southern portion of Williamson County. Williamson County side of Spring Hill comes across Thompson Station Road and out through Bethesda to Pulltide Hill and back to 31 here and down back to Marshall County. If we're in Spring Hill, it's the widening of 31, and let's do something about 65. When you hit the Alabama line at Tennessee, it should be 3 lanes all the way till you hit the Kentucky state line, and from east to west, same way. And now that we got June Lake opened up, the new interchange off 65, that may have helped some, but I've noticed going to Nashville that the traffic now is bottlenecking on down past that. So the TDOT, we definitely got a lot of work to do on our infrastructure across the state. I think we as a state, 3 issues that we really need to target. First one being education, second one being infrastructure, and third being crime. And I think we've worked on all of those. I think all of those have definitely made improvements. Since I can see improvements since I've been there, but we do have a ways to go. I'm all for spending the money, but we got to figure out a way to do it that it don't cost the taxpayers a bunch of extra money. I'm never going to support toll roads. I'm not going to be in favor of it. You always want to try to work with leadership, but at the end of the day, you represent the people back in your district. I represent the people of the 92nd district, and that's who I'm going to go home, and that's who I'm going to answer to. I don't answer to the leadership, I don't answer to the governor, and I definitely don't answer to the special interest groups in Nashville. Absolutely, I believe they should be closed. I know one, Representative Chris Todd out of West Tennessee, out around the Jackson area. He's working on a bill, and we don't like to overlap our bills if we can help it. And I told him, I said, if you're working on one, I won't. I will definitely be co-sponsoring that bill and trying to help him get it pushed across. I think there'll be a very good effort this time put forth to try to close the primaries. Those people that are afraid to close the primaries, what are you hiding? If you're a true conservative, what are you hiding? First of all, First Amendment guy, Second Amendment guy, 10th Amendment guy. We need to get back to more states' rights, excuse my French, but to hell with the federal government. We in Tennessee, we can make our own decisions. We don't need Washington making our decisions. Let us run our schools and keep the federal government out of Tennessee. Another thing I think is going to be a big topic is illegal immigration. We can't really seem to get a true number down at the state. I've asked different places, and I've asked in education. I did sit on 4 education committees. How many illegal immigrant kids are we educating in Tennessee? Well, we can't ask that question because the federal government, because we take the Title IX money maybe, or the money coming from the feds, we can't ask a student when they enter a Tennessee school whether they're here illegal or not. So we don't have a true cost of what it's costing us. I think you're going to see a lot of bills come forth this time that's going to really try to crack down on illegal immigration. I want to do more for the public education. We're spending $10 billion a year almost in Tennessee on K through 12 education. We rank, I think we're somewhere in the mid-30s. We're failing right there. We need to get those numbers up. The voucher bill is going to be a big topic. It's going to probably be the #1 topic we're going to see. 90% of our students across this state are going to go to a public school. They're not going to go to a private school. Make sure that they have the resources that they need. Give more control back to the locals. We need to give the locals as much of a chance as we can. Okay, I'm going to give you 4 reasons quick here why I was against the school choice. I sat on 4 education committees. I got to ask the Commissioner of Education in 2 different committees questions. One of the questions was, I downloaded an application from Arizona. I sent that application to the Department of Education a week prior to the committee, and I said, please review this application and be ready to answer questions. We get in committee. The first question I asked the Commissioner, did you get my email? She did not. I had a read receipt from her assistant. He got it. I said, well, to be fair to you, Commissioner, I'm going to ask your assistant a question. I said, did you get a chance to review the application? He said, yes, sir, but you did not tell me what I was looking for. And I'm thinking in my head, well, you want me to give you the test and answer too? I said, I'll tell you what was not on the application. I said, there was not a box to check whether you are a U.S. citizen or not. I then turned to the Commissioner and I asked the Commissioner in committee, I said, will you promise Tennesseans that if this passes, when the application is put forth to Tennesseans to apply, that there will be a box on there? She would not answer that question. That was reason number 1 that I had a problem with school choice bill. Another reason, in Arizona, I had an article and I sent it to them. I said, have you seen this article? In Arizona, they're funding LGBT schools. That's fine if you're a parent, you want to send them there. As a taxpayer, I don't want my taxpayer dollars being spent to teach that kind of stuff. I don't think most Tennesseans do. I said, as Commissioner, will you promise Tennesseans that none of our tax dollars will go to teach the LGBT community the types of stuff that we've banned in our public schools? She would not answer the question. Third example, down in Florida, there's a Muslim school that's teaching Sharia law that is receiving funds from a voucher program that Governor DeSantis is trying to claw back money. They're in a lawsuit down there. You can Google it. I said, Commissioner, will you promise Tennesseans that you will not allow this money to go to these type schools that may teach Sharia law? She would not answer the question. To be honest with you, she didn't answer any questions in committee. I mean, I couldn't support it. And there were so many rural Republicans and conservatives, even some that were in the cities, that said, thank you for asking those questions, those tough questions. We didn't want to ask them, and we definitely didn't want to vote on this in an election year. Well, yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on it. You see my hat here. I think there's 2 things that can save this country. First is God Almighty, and the second thing is Donald Trump. How anybody can think the last 4 years were better than the previous 4 years, you need to go get your head examined. I want to leave this place better than it was when I went up there. I want Nashville, I want Tennessee to be a better place, but I want to protect the values that made this place the great place it is. I think we get away from those values sometimes. We want to protect the Tennessee values that made this place the great state it is.